Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the new trading week. I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin charts. Yes, Bitcoin on the 4 hour, we did have some attempts to get above our resistance level. Didn't manage to accelerate away from it, so we have now been rejected back below. So we just find ourselves in the find ourselves in the upper quartile, basically above our $38,000 support level. And yeah, I mean, basically just trading sideways within here. Again, it's just going to be a game of levels. We just got to watch the overhead resistance, and then obviously the levels of support below, and if we lose them, we obviously then target the next level. All in all, this looks good, so providing that we stay above the midpoint. So basically we just call it 35,000. As long as price action stays above there, then yeah, everything will still all be fine, and we can trade sideways. I know obviously that'll be disappointing for some people that want to see us bust straight through this level and continue upwards, but there are other people who want to buy in. So yeah, I mean, they won't be disappointed if we come down to the midpoint, but nonetheless, as I've said, potential sideways for a prolonged period. We did have a chance of breaking above the top side, and we haven't done that yet, and we are now retreating from it. So yeah, maybe we are going to have a couple of weeks, maybe even a month or so of trading sideways in this range, or maybe we are going to Bitcoin is just going to basically pull through and break above. We have obviously got a big week with Ethereum, so that may be a driver for the market. I mean, it may or may not be enough to pull Bitcoin through the level, but it may be enough to obviously drive Ethereum to well, either up or down. But yeah, obviously my bias would be to the upside. And if we do want to go and have a look at what is going on with Ethereum, we can see a pretty powerful move up from these recent lows. This is obviously against Bitcoin. From these recent lows, we have moved up nearly 15%. And if we have a look at these highs that we've got going on here, if we moved up to those highs, that would be a 44% move against Bitcoin, which would be pretty incredible. But what I want to draw your guys' attention to is the fact these downward sloping trend lines, this overall tightening pattern, this basically bull flag, obviously on a larger time frame, is looking like he has got every opportunity to break up now. As you can see where we drew this trend line yesterday, this more downwardly sloped one, we've broken through this horizontal, and even the one we drew before, we are basically at that one now as well. So however you want to draw this trend line, for the upper side of this pattern of this, you can call it symmetrical triangle, descending triangle, whatever, bull flag. It is basically attempting to break out, and then obviously breaking out, we know this was the projected target, which gets us, well, if we actually want to measure where that takes us, it takes us about a 70% move against Bitcoin. So Ethereum relative to Bitcoin just over 70% higher. So that is what we potentially got on the cards here. We have potentially got some major excitement coming in with Ethereum. Obviously, we do know the risks, and the risks are potentially why this is just traded sideways to down recently, because obviously the miners may make their final stand and trying to cause whatever problems they can. And then yeah, I mean, clearly that is a risk, but obviously if we basically navigate ourselves, or not ourselves, but if Vitalik and his team navigate Ethereum's way through that minefield, then we will be pretty much on our merry way against this Bitcoin pairing. And then yeah, obviously depending on the fiat value of Bitcoin towards that $8,000 end of year 2021 Ethereum prediction that we that basically I've been calling for. I say prediction, it's just a, do you know what I mean? It was just an arbitrary shot in the dark that I think that we can do. And yeah, and I think like I said, I think we can do it. I think we can get there. And that will be where we will potentially be going. So yeah, Ethereum looking good. Obviously, Bitcoin dominance going to be pulling back in line with that move up in Ethereum, because obviously Ethereum is the biggest component against Bitcoin of the Bitcoin dominance. So clearly is moving down. But yeah, it is good to see. It is good to see this is coming down just a few levels. Looking like we have potentially put in a top here. But obviously we've got to break this level here. And then yeah, we will be looking like, I think that will then attract a lot more attention to alts. People will see, okay, yeah, we are trending down in this. But yeah, at the moment, not necessarily trending down. We could draw a trend line underneath, and you can see we're basically at it. Yeah, if we lose this, we could see acceleration to the downside. But but yeah, there we go. Potential rising wedge if you wanted to just get creative with your patterns, but we won't convolute that chart up too much, because obviously the important thing is it's just the bottom side trend line, because that's what we're approaching. So yeah, what else do we want to have we'll look at the USD pairing, because that is looking good as well. I mean, this is the this is sort of the range that we wanted to be in, this one here. We obviously, these were our last stands that we needed to hold, and yeah, you can see back within this range, actually even within, if we extend some of these horizontals along, we are actually even basically above those as well. So I mean, clearly breaking above this level here, 2900, is gonna there's no real resistance really. I mean, there's no real resistance. Realistically, there's no real resistance. We'll just draw a line just to mark the previous high. But yeah, I mean, realistically, if we break through this, maybe we'll just trade sideways, bouncing down this, pinging within this wider range before blasting off. But yeah, this is obviously, well, I say it's looking good. I mean, once we're above this, it is basically going to be looking bullish. At the moment, I mean, if you look at the bearish, the neutral, the bullish titles for videos, at the moment, yeah, at the moment it would be neutral. Getting above here would be bullish. So yes, and then actually getting below here would be bearish, which we actually pretty much didn't do. So obviously you can see Ethereum has been performing a bit better than Bitcoin in this recent time period. So let's finally have a look at Bitcoin. In fact, actually no, let's look at the dollar just real quick. Yeah, it is easing off this resistance level. It bounced into this old support, new resistance, and now it's easing off it again. I mean, clearly, if we take out this low, we will be we'll be making moves to take out this this support area, and then obviously taking out that support area. It is curtains. It is curtains for the dollar for at least a brief period of time. Maybe the dollar does just basically trade within a wider range itself, between well, roughly low 89s and obviously these highs of 93s. Maybe that happens. That is fine. It is fine to do that. It can come back down. We'll get a nice move in Bitcoin. It can go back up, and Bitcoin can range sideways in a wider range. That is no problem. Maybe that will happen, but then maybe maybe we will lose this bottom area. But either way, first and foremost, we need to take out this level. Then we need to get down here, and then we can decide what happens. But I'm pretty sure we would get a bounce, even if it is towards the midpoint of the range, even if it's back towards this underside resistance, and then before turning back down, and then taking out this level if it was to take this level out. But yes, so obviously the dollar is a bit controversial. I mean, they're a bit of controversial subject, whether it's going to go up and down. There are lots of opposing forces and lots of opinions that weight these opposing forces in different amounts. So obviously they don't think, if they think this bearish influence has more importance than the bullish ones, they think we're gonna go down. But everyone is aware of the bullish and bearish aspects of this. But it's just basically the dollar tug of war game. So yes, stock futures, just a quick look at them. Look at that, looking good. Looking good here, guys. Number only go up. Buy the dip, always buy the dip. I mean, it is so simple, isn't it, for those stock traders? Look how easy they got it. Actually, yeah. So, but this is good for us anyway. This is good. It's all basically risk on assets. It's all basically the same thing. We all get rich together. We all get poor together until basically Bitcoin does decouple. If Bitcoin ever decouples, but we shall see. That is not anything we need to concern ourselves with at the moment. So stochastics. 4 hour coming down, obviously with price action, nice pullback. Eventually it can turn back up and then give us some stability stroke upward momentum. 10 hour coming down, 12 hour just turning down here, daily looking to turn down, 2 day, but obviously then we know these ones look better. The 2 day, the 3 day, the 5 day all looking good. So like I have been saying, like I have been saying, I think just potentially we do trade sideways, and in the upper half of this zone, maybe we print a similar sort of prolonged sideways pattern like we did here. Obviously came straight up at it, pull back down to the midpoint, straight back to the top, pull back down to the midpoint, bounced off it a few times before then making progress to the upside, and then this may be where things will hopefully diverge from this previous price action. So obviously equivalent would be then we break onwards and upwards, rather than get rejected and come all the way back down. So yeah, maybe we do play out a similar pattern, similar to this, trade sideways for a bit of time, and then hopefully break on upwards. And if we do just want to look at how long this period of time was, it was obviously 22nd of June to 20th of July, so 1 month. So could we have 1 month trading sideways here? We certainly could, and yeah, I would take that. That is fine with me, as long as ultimately we don't do this and then basically drop back down to the 30k, as long as we do this and then break up to the 50s and 60s. But yeah, so like I said, just be aware that we could be just in for a month of sideways. I know things are getting exciting here, just in much the same way the bears were getting excited here. And the bears obviously, well, the bears getting excited here. At this point, we'd want the inverse bears, i.e. the bulls, to get excited, because we would obviously at this point want us to break upwards. But yeah, anyway, it's just some pointless observations there of previous price actions. I find fractals themselves are not necessarily the best thing to look at, and certainly not inverse fractals. But what they are good at is just an example of price action, just an example of how price action can operate within its range at its extremes. Yes, we could just see another similar example of price action operating in a way that price action operates. So yeah, that is it. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. But yeah, big week, big exciting week. Maybe not so for Bitcoin, but certainly for Ethereum. And there's lots of exciting. I mean, this is an exciting year for Ethereum. Obviously, if you've been watching some of the fundamental analysts video on Ethereum, they're kind of likening this to like a 90% reduction in the Ethereum supply. So I don't know how many. I think they're saying like 4 halvings or something happening at once. So it's like the equivalent of 4 Bitcoin halvings. I believe it's about that they were saying. So yeah, a massively fundamental year. But obviously, it's not going to be without its pitfalls. Otherwise, Ethereum would already be reflecting that. If there were no risks, the market would be reflecting that in the price of Ethereum. But there are risks involved. There are potential problems that can occur on the route, so obviously they're reflected in the price. So yeah, it's nothing is ever a given in anything, in life, in crypto, in trading, in anything. But yeah, I mean, my money is on the fact they will pull through. Like I said, even if we do have dips down, even if we don't, even if there are issues in the meantime, I mean, that's potentially just time to potentially accumulate more. But I think Ethereum will pull through, and I mean, ultimately it could flip Bitcoin, but doesn't necessarily have to. But it is certainly a more useful chain, and if it does include other dynamics, then obviously that will be good. I mean, there are going to be the people that just think proof of stake is POS, is another thing that POS can stand for, and they think proof of work is the only real way. And yeah, they have got an argument, but then obviously there are issues with both. But yeah, it will be a divergence between obviously both of them going from proof of work. Both of them, it will be a massive divergence from both being proof of work to one being proof of stake and one being proof of work. But either way, medium, longer time frame, years out, we'll see how that plays out. But in the shorter time frame, and I'm talking shorter time frame, I'm talking like year or so, year and a half as a short time frame. I think it could give Ethereum a good move against Bitcoin. So yeah, we'll see how that all plays out. So yeah, there we go, guys. Thanks for listening. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.